Welcome to Category Visionaries, the show dedicated to exploring exciting visions for the future from the founders who are on the front lines building it. In each episode, we'll speak with a visionary founder who's building a new category or reimagining an existing one. We'll learn about the problem they solve, how their technology works, and unpack their vision for the future. I'm your host, Brett Stapper, CEO of Frontlines Media. Now let's dive right into today's episode.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Category Visionaries. Today we're speaking with Rush Shahani, co-founder of Persana AI, an AI go-to-market tool that's raised $2.3 million in funding. Rush, what's going on?
Hey, glad to be here and super excited to, share what we've been working at Persana.
Yeah, really excited. Oh, what was your journey like to get here? Tell us about your journey.
Yeah, sure. So me and my co-founder, we met while working on LinkedIn. So I was a tech lead on, the search platform there. So really kind of, being able to rank profiles, figuring out who are the best people to reach out to. And my co-founder is actually on the customer data side. So we saw this massive pain point where teams were struggling managing tons of different data sources and not being able to actually take action on them. And they needed large teams of data scientists to actually make sense of the data and help in converting them. They were just boggled with, so many spreadsheets, CRM data, different systems, firmographic data, job boards, and it was just in different dashboards. So that's when we decided to, build Persana, which is an agentic platform for B2B teams, specifically go to market, recruiting and ops. And what we actually help these teams do is unify their fragmented data and they use intelligent agents to actually reason on that data and automate their workflows. So things that used to take months can now be done in seconds and minutes. So it's been super exciting being able to, help teams that didn't even think this was possible.
And what types of teams are you helping? What's the ICP here?
Yeah, so the ICP is varied across go-to-market, right? Because different companies, different teams are involved. So we help sales teams, rev ops, sales ops. Those are the common ones. And industries varying from B2B teams, across whether you need SaaS, high tech. But what we've actually seen been really useful recently is, the untapped potential in markets that aren't too tech heavy. So think about a fintech firm in the Midwest, trying to reach out and do sales. That's been really exciting because, they haven't had access to this kind of tech before. So that aha moment that they feel that when they, use something like Persana is super magical for them because they thought that, they would need a team of 20 people to actually execute this and, run that. So it's been super exciting to, help people across the stack, but honestly just helping because our success is kind of their success, right? So that's kind of the mission that drives us at Persana. So the more insightful their data can be, the more deals they close actually helps us. So that's a mission that really inspires us at Persana.
And I know you went through YC. What was that experience like? I'm sure you've learned a ton. What were some of the big learnings?
Yeah, YC was really a great experience, and I definitely recommend it to every new founder. Just the insights, the value of the YC network in terms of getting your product from 0 to 1, getting people to actually try it out. We were actually the last kind of remote YC batch before they moved in person. So that was also interesting to see. And, despite things with the SVB crash happening, right before our demo day, we were still able to kind of, raise our round, get our prospects excited, things like that. So YC is definitely a really good support system to have. And having that kind of mentorship and network with your batch, even beyond the batch, we still talk to our group partners, talk to our teammates. And yeah, going through YC, I feel like we started out MVP. This was, kind of when ChatGPT had just started to roll out. Teams were, just starting to use large language models. We started building personalized, fine-tuned models for teams where they could generate sales emails that were converting. And people were super happy to pay for that because it was something new and something that they really saw taking a bunch of time. But we quickly realized that the mode wasn't in the personalization. The mode was actually being able to predict who is the right account to reach to, who are the right people to reach out to, and being able to build that customized layer per company. So we built at Persana, we have, fine-tuned embeddings for your company, because each company, sells to different businesses. And through reinforcement learning, we're actually able to take that data in. And as you continue using Persona, the more emails you send, the more outreach data we have, or even inbound data as well, like people visiting your website, we're able to capture that data, make sense of it just for your company. So think about, you have like a customized AI model that's working for your company. And the moment we realized that, which was pretty quick during YC, I feel like that's the advantage of YC. You get to quickly get your product in the hands of users. We quickly realized that it's not just about the emails, but it's actually about the data that goes in. And, the moment we discovered that, I feel like we just started scaling and, really seeing more of the value that our customers were getting. So we have this dashboard internally that we track, right? It's like how much of qualified pipeline are our customers reaching. And that's kind of the goal for our, you want to keep maximizing that.
On the reinforcement learning side, is that being done by humans? Is there a human evaluation layer there?
Yeah, depending. So the way we kind of think about this is, right, a person at the company that uses Persona, they'll set up these processes to build these agents, kind of like a different direction compared to the AI SDR that does it themselves. We let a company build their own AI agent based on their data sources that they want to tap into, or the one that Persona recommends. So Persona can also recommend, if you are, a developer company, you should be looking at who else is using your competition, right? So using the firmographics and the technographics, we're able to tell you, okay, these are the data sources that you should tap into. And, these are kind of the companies you should reach out to. So a human in the loop kind of just verifies it. That these are the people I want to reach out to. And they can also turn on like autopilot mode, which is that once they set it up, it'll like start finding similar profiles as well. So depending on, the flexibility they want, but we always want the human to have control in, choosing what the agent is doing, seeing its responses. And over time, once we get that data back, it refines the model. So our predictions get better and better each time because we have the data, whether someone has like opened an email or, clicked to book a demo link or, even visited your website. And we partner with the best data sources. So like, even if we don't have it in-house, we're able to get that data for you. So for example, like things like contact level data, right? We're able to get you like, if you visit our website, we're able to tell that it's you and not just someone else at your company. So that's just an example of how these data sources tie in together. And through our partnerships on our own data and our own kind of infrastructure, right? We're able to sort of pick the best data sources and help you kind of close the deal faster.
This show is brought to you by Frontlines Media, a podcast production studio that helps B2B founders launch, manage, and grow their own podcast. Now, if you're a founder, you may be thinking, I don't have time to host a podcast. I've got a company to build. Well, that's exactly what we built our service to do. You show up and host, and we handle literally everything else. To set up a call to discuss launching your own podcast, visit frontlines.io/podcast. Now, back to today's episode.
I see. That's very smart. What does deployment look like? So let's see, we're a customer, we signed today. What does the next few steps look like?
Yeah. So the first step is kind of like understanding your current processes and the challenges you have. And then our team kind of, looks at which are the data signals you should first tap into. And once you kind of figure out the initial sets of data sources to tap into, we can also recommend, what else other companies similar to you seeing success in. Because we work with a vast variety of different industries, right? So we have those data points to know like what's kind of working, what's not working, especially as we were just talking about, like outbound rates have been plummeting, like doing really bad, especially the past 2 years or so. So it's really important to use the right data, reach out to the right people when they're actually looking for a solution. So we're able to find you the people that have a problem right now and that your solution helps them versus kind of doing a spray and pray and, just kind of praying that this person might have the problem, which has been highly ineffective. So we have the data, we've seen how systems work. So that's really the advantage of using Personas. We can recommend our clients, what are the right structures to do. And then we have an onboarding person to sort of assist you on the team to make sure you're setting up these workflows correctly. And our success is kind of, when your first campaign is live. So we have like a campaign generator and out the sequences and, actually send It takes care of all the infrastructure. So you don't need to like worry about, warming up all those kind of technical details that are, boring and mundane.
That was my next question. Yeah, we have telling you in the pre-interview, we do a lot of cold emailing for all
Yeah.
the podcasts that we produce, and our email infrastructure is just disgusting. I think it's like 300 domains. Like we're completely out of domains at this point. We're always just cycling through them. It's like the amount of work. There's one full-time person where it's their job to maintain
Oh, yeah.
them, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, and then it goes out of date, and then to bring it back alive, or replace it, or your emails start going into spam. So we take care of all that stuff, so your team can really focus on doing the demo calls and actually doing things that are not.
Nice. That's very, very smart. How do you price it? Do you price it like, standard SaaS? Is it more like services that are enabled by technology? Like, how are you thinking about pricing? I know it's a big discussion right now when it comes to AI.
Yeah, I'd say like we do have like a PLG and an SLG model. So we're still kind of doing both of them because both are really effective for us. We've seen like PLG just like an easy option for people that just kind of wanted leads, just go on Persona, find some leads, run some AI prompts. But the SLG side is kind of, more interesting where we dive into the team's tech stack, build a personalized AI model for them and, take care of that whole setup phase, which is what they can really use the value of like Persona's, intelligent orchestration layer. And depending on the amount of leads they want to reach out to each one, we price that accordingly. So it's more like a usage-based model. And one thing we really emphasize is, outcomes. I'd say like to any kind of new founder or company kind of just starting out, really think about the outcome that you're providing, which is like the features. So that's the way we like to think about it. It's not about the hundreds of different features we have, but the outcome, which is just the main outcome for us is, giving you more qualified pipeline, making sure you're able to reach out to people that are qualified in market and, are going to close.
Nice. Makes sense. And how are you growing it? I'm guessing it's using your own platform. I feel like it has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's the best part, right? We get to dog food our platform each day. We're the ones that kind of, find a lot of bugs each morning because we constantly ship stuff. Like we ship really, really fast. So, being able to like find these bugs as they come up. We have like a Slack channel as well, which is a Slack community. I believe we have around like 6,000 people on there, sales professionals, so they can, share their insights, stuff like that. Our community has really actually helped us a lot, grow as well as partnerships because we partner with all these amazing data sources to have them on our platform. They get access to the Persona ecosystem. It's been super powerful. Like we do these like content together, we do marketing together, but really it's kind of like a win-win. So we partner with any kind of data source in the go-to-market space that has, high quality data. And oftentimes our customers, are like recommending maybe you should have an integration with these guys. And then, we reach out to them and they're super excited too, because it's kind of like a win-win. That's definitely been like, if I were to say, one of the best channels for us is these kind of partnerships and building this like orchestration platform that has tons of data sources on there and, very well integrated, gives our customers access to the best sources as well as, giving them the benefit of, having the visibility on the Persona.
I see. That all makes perfect sense.
Oh, yeah. And social is also huge. I'd say like social has been really big for us at posting on LinkedIn. Definitely huge. Like I feel like LinkedIn is one of the top ways we get inbound. In fact, it works better than our paid app. I'd say like LinkedIn has the huge advantage if you can figure out how to post right. Get your customers to post about you as well. I think it's really nice, seeing like customer workflow videos just pop up on my feed. There's some people that have, even made courses on like how to use Persona. That drives tons of traffic. So just kind of building that organic ecosystem, which is kind of like the model, right? The more you give out to your community, the more you kind of get that.
Yeah, makes sense. What about the community side? How did you find those? You said it's 6,000 people. That's a good sized community. How did you get those people to say, yes, I'm in? And where is the community? Is it a Slack?
Yeah, it's a Slack community, but we also have like LinkedIn, newsletters, all that kind of stuff, as well as GTM advisors. So kind of like people who sell Persona to their clients. There's a lot of like agencies that, help companies get onboarded to, prospecting tools. So they kind of use Persona because they become like experts. We have like courses for them so they can get certified and, they can sell Persona, they get a commission depending on whichever plan they sell. It kind of helps boost our ecosystem because, they get the benefit of selling Persona, getting a commission, making their clients happy, as well as, we get the benefit of the distribution and getting people to like talk about us, building workflows, building, academy tutorials. So it's been definitely exciting. And I feel like they give us these insights as well, because they're in this the whole day. Like this is their job to kind of sell to different companies, sell their advisories and things like that. So they'll tell us, new feature need for that. And, how can we really, boost up our vision of turning inside into the essence that can work.
This show is brought to you by the Global Talent Co., a marketing leader's best friend in these times of budget cuts and efficient growth. We help marketing leaders find, hire, vet, and manage amazing marketing talent for 50 to 70% less than their US and European counterparts. To book a free consultation, visit globaltalent.co.
What about on the partnership side? What have you learned about building out partnerships? Sounds like a lot of your success has been based on those relationships. How do you build those?
Yeah, I think per se, like being very involved in the community, I think getting to know, different companies out there in the prospecting space, just making it a point to like, connect with them, chat with them, learn the stuff that they're kind of working on is definitely like, something that as soon as we started Persona, we kind of made that a point to do. Know what are the best data sources because we do have to have the best data on there. That's one of the key value props, right? We need the best kind of data on Persona, no matter, what kind of vertical we're selling to. We want to be able to have all the data sources so that your team doesn't do buy 10 different software, They don't need to buy 10, 20 different subscriptions. We've seen teams have more than 25 subscriptions and they've been able to replace that with Persona. So our value prop comes on, understanding what are the best data sources out there and bringing them onto the Persona platform. So, fostering those communication with them and also making it in a way that's a win-win for both, right? You got to think about like, how do you actually, for your vendor, you want to make sure like they are getting the benefit of also being on Persona. We're giving them that visibility, whether that's like showcasing like this data source is like coming from this, this data source so that they get the marketing, the distribution as well. So coming up with that, like I think it's something that is also really good because you can win with them. It's not one versus another, but it's like, how do you win together?
How do you combat, obviously in the AI SDR space, I feel like there's a lot of negative sentiment. I'll get emails from an AI SDR tool and it's like a total shit email. And I'm like, what are you trying to pitch me on? Like, you're sending this and it's like a horrible email. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, is that a challenge for you that you have to navigate? That, some people have kind of a negative perception of AI SDR tools or AI sales tools. How do you navigate that?
Yeah, I think that's a stance we take really strongly, actually. And a bunch of our customers come from having tried these AI SDRs and, it just hasn't been working for them. Honestly, like a bunch of customers we get are like people that have tried these AI SDRs tools. And it kind of goes back to our thesis, right? It's like about the quality of the data, how well, the industry, and not a generic spray and pray, because that is clearly not going to, especially right now with algorithm, it's not going to work. So being able to, use the signals, use all that, but really have the way we really take a strong stance on this is that we take your team sales motion and scale that. We take your existing team's motion and then scale that to like what you would have a team of 20 kind of do. We can let our AI take that. So you don't want to need a team of 20 to kind of run your basic operations, but we take what's working for you and really scale that. Whereas the AI SDR is kind of, just spray and pray all your RCP, just send them a message and see what's working, what's not. And, based on that message, you can like clearly tell like this is not something that's going to. But if you clearly tie to how your solution is helping them with their pain point, using like news, using an insight that you figured out. I saw someone from your team visited our website and I saw you guys were hiring someone to solve this challenge. Here's how we can help your new hire do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's far more compelling than, just something that's, do you want to use a platform? You have a free trial.
Yeah. Hi, I see you raised money. Can we take?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it's always like, congrats on like, your new fund. This is what it should be.
Yeah. Those are the worst ones, right? It's like, congrats on your success. Amazing. Well, we're moving into the final question. So we like to end talking big picture, talking vision. So let's zoom out 3 to 5 years into the future. What's the big picture vision look like that you're building today?
Yeah, so we want to be this like B2B orchestration layer, right? That no matter what your business problem is, in closing deals, in closing sales, in attracting customers, we want to be the operating system for that. So no matter the question, right? Whether it's like, why are my sales plummeting this month? Maybe I should take this action. That recommendation should be coming from Persana, and it should be sort of like a one-click action for the human. So we want to make it super simple for the human, and all our insights and data points are going to be backed by the reinforcement learning that we've gathered. And we build these like fine-tuned embeddings that are just going to get better. And the way these fine-tuned embeddings work is that we've sort of understood like, who are your customers? How is it working for them? And what are the challenges we're seeing? And based on all the data that we've accumulated, with all the stuff that's going on in the industry and trends and all that stuff, taking into account, even to the point where, the macro environment changes, we want to be able to help our customers navigate through that. And that's when, becoming the operating system of all kind of go-to-market processes is, super impactful, because if you see all teams are kind of in the go-to-market space, they're really linked to each other, right? Like the sales team depends on the marketing team depends on the sales team. You have the demand gen team as well, kind of, putting in the structure. Who are the new leads you should be going up? Who are the accounts you should focusing on? It's sort of like very tied together. So we want to be the expert for this kind of stuff. Being able to predict who is the next best person to reach out and take actions in just one click that would already did, 20 people on your team, 6 months. We want to be able to do that in seconds.
Amazing. I love the vision. I really love this conversation. It's been a whole lot of fun. Before we wrap here, if there's any founders that are listening in that either want to use the platform or just follow along with you and your journey as you build the platform, where should we send them?
Oh, definitely. I'd say like follow me on social media. On LinkedIn, we have a super active LinkedIn, as well as, try Persana. We're super excited to, share the stuff that we're doing. And also more on the AI side, I'm like particularly interested in more on the research side as well. So if you're interested in kind of like, the new stuff coming out, that's also something I'm super excited. So just feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions, starting a new company, you want to apply to YC, or, thinking about how to go around the account raise, or, things how to navigate that, definitely. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it. Well, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Brad.
This episode of Category Visionaries is brought to you by Frontlines Media, Silicon Valley's leading podcast production studio. If you're a B2B founder looking for help launching and growing your own podcast, visit frontlines.io/podcast. And for the latest episode, search for Category Visionaries on your podcast platform of choice. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.